In this episode, doing cardio on an empty stomach, do you have to be starving? Do you have to starve yourself to lose fat in this episode? Isn't that great? Isn't this a great What a great day. What a great day. Speaking of fat, let me drink a cup full of fat. Just absolute bull lard. Okay. Yeah.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 617 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pumpcast, Saturday Cast, Weekend Cast, and Coffee Cast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps, and sometimes we don't even comb or brush our beards. That's really what's the Daily Swole is coming down to, is just being unkempt on camera. And I really do feel that I think I'm just going to stop grooming myself before these shows, because why? Who doesn't want high definition of just a scraggly beard? I think that's going to be my calling card. That's my thing, is not the glasses. It's not the gains. It's not just the beard. It's just a wild, just freaking like savage beard. Like I just came out of the woods like fucking Tom Hanks. Like Tom Hanks. What's going on, Casey? Brett, what's up, dudes? Texas Girl 526. Hello, Texas. Hello. What's going on? So make sure you say hi on Facebook and Instagram at Swolenormous. So those of you that are watching, you're saying what up. Brandon Martinez, manly noise. That's the Papa Swole mating call. So every time you watch the Daily Swole, you got to grunt with me. So thank you for watching. So you can catch us live every day at 12 noon Eastern time on Facebook and Instagram. You can also watch it later in high definition on YouTube and also on Facebook. But it's a flow of hearts here. Which one of you peeps watches and listens? Remember, if you have not caught all the episodes of the Daily Swole, you can play catch up. You can do it in the gym. You do it when you're warming up in the car, when you're going for a walk, walking the dog. You can catch mowing the lawn. I mean, no one's mowing the lawn, shoveling snow. You can catch every episode of the Daily Swole on SoundCloud and iTunes. And today is episode 617, and we are talking negative 23 degrees. See, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking cardio today. Doing cardio in the morning on empty stomach, is it necessary? Is it necessary to do fasted cardio? Does that make any difference? And my personal opinion on that, and we'll get some questions and we'll get some feedback for what you all like to do. And I'll tell you really what I think about fasted cardio or doing things in the morning on empty stomach. And, just from personal experience, because that's what really makes the difference, is actually putting into action and trying. And I'll start off the episode with that when it comes to all the science, right? When it comes to all the research, when it comes to the articles, when it comes to seeing what your favorite fitness celebrities do, when it comes to reading or seeing someone post on Instagram, oh, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that, or how do I lose weight? Maybe I should do it this way, maybe I should do it that way. What it really comes down to is, what are you putting into practice? Right? What are you putting into practice? What are you doing with this information? Are you just thinking about it? Are you just waiting for someone to say, oh, that's the answer? Are you waiting for someone to tell you that's the answer? Or are you putting these things into practice and into play? And I think that is the biggest difference when it comes to whether or not people get results or not. You have to be willing to try things. So if you're coming to this show and you're thinking, oh, that's a good question. Is it better? Have you tried it? Have you tried it for yourself? Do you like it? Do you like the feel of it better? Have you actually put this into practice? Or are you just waiting for someone to tell you that's the thing to do? Because you're not going to kill yourself, for example. Let's just start off with that. Cardio on an empty stomach. Let's talk about fasted cardio or fasted training. So a show of hearts or thumbs, and drop some comments if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram Live. Do you train on an empty stomach? Do you work out on an empty stomach? I don't care if it's cardio. I don't care if it's weight training. Do you do your exercise first thing in the morning on empty stomach? So first off, comment below. What do you do? Are you an empty stomach type of person? Because for me, training more on an empty stomach at any time of day, if I train in the afternoon, I'm not going to be eating a full meal like half an hour before. So I'm going to train more on an empty stomach. But have you done it? And for those of you that have done it, I think you'll agree, and you can float some hearts and make sure you hit the share button, hit the like button. Definitely spread the word on this one, because I think there's a lot of confusion when it comes to cardio or when it comes to fitness on empty stomach. Because when you first start, it feels weird. You'll get lightheaded. You'll feel dizzy. It's not going to feel comfortable because you're used to eating. You're used to being satisfied. Your body is shifting and figuring out what to do with blood sugar. Your body is trying to figure out how to handle the exercise and handle the activity. But the big deal, or the big beef, is when it comes down to your execution on it, your adaptation. You will adapt. You will start adjusting to exercising on empty stomach. You'll start feeling better. It'll start feeling better. You will start feeling less lightheaded. You will start feeling more of a pump. You'll have more energy. You'll stop feeling weird. And I know this personally because I've done this. When I was in college and I was first starting to, I had a job in the summer and I was starting to get my pump on. I was raging and I was really, hell-bent on gaining mass. I would work out first thing in the morning, and it was so early that I had to train before work that I couldn't eat first. I didn't have time. And what am I going to do? Eat at like 5 o'clock and then train right after? I had to be up super early, and I just started training on an empty stomach because I was reading magazines and I was researching it, and I started doing it. I just ate immediately after. And at first I started feeling dizzy. I felt a little bit, weird and queasy. And after like a week or two, it was like normal, and I felt great and it was fine. And my body adapted, my body adjusted, and I just ate immediately after on the way home. And then I showered on the way home and went to work, and it was fine. And that's how I made most of my gains that summer. That was the first summer that I bulked. That's when I really wanted to start getting huge, and I put on a ton of weight because I did it the right way. So you have to figure out what works best for you. Some people really cannot do anything on empty stomach. They just don't feel good with it. Everyone's different. Everyone's different. And don't forget, not only is everyone genetically different, or you have let's say your stomach, your gut bacteria, your body habits, your body composition. And I don't mean the composition of how much fat and how much muscle you have. I mean what your body is used to, what your body has built up in terms of cellular quality, in terms of microorganisms that live in your body. You've built up a very unique profile over the course of your 20, 30, 40, or 50 years. So what you could have done when you were 20 is different than what you could do when you're 50, but that also makes us very, very different. So you might not be ideal to do something on empty stomach. Maybe you need someone just said a rice cake. Maybe that's it. You do, like, look, if you go to the gym first thing in the morning and you have a rice cake on the way and you have amazing workouts, you're getting results, who the fuck am I to say that that's bad? You shouldn't be having a rice cake before you train. If you're getting great results and you feel awesome when you do it, then you found what works best for you. That's the most important thing. And we put too much stock in some cases to research. And I know this could get some people butthurt because, research is the answer. Research is only true until we find out more research that proves that wrong. So research is just a controlled study for us to focus on one result for one specific test. That's what research is. And then if that gets proven true, we're like, I wonder if that's the case with all these situations. So let's do a test again. That's why on a topic, let's say creatine or protein, there's thousands of studies because we need to make sure that every single angle is consistent. Because certain studies and certain, let's say nutrients or training styles could be true for men, but not for women. It could be true for men 35 to 45, but not true for men 25 to 28. So we have to find these anomalies in our own lives, because not only do those tests have that standard bell curve, right, where most people fall in the 97 or whatever, standard deviation, there's always outliers. So even in those tests that quote unquote prove things a certain way, there are those test, points, outliers that fall outside that. So it's not always true even then. It's just the vast majority. So I think we put too much stock in research. I think research is great. I think we find out so much information from that, obviously. But on an individual basis, I think there's so many little tweaks and so many little adjustments. I'm not saying eat pure garbage because, I feel good when I have garbage at night before I go to sleep and I'm seeing results. I don't think that you can take it to that extreme. I think there's certain things like, if you're consuming arsenic before a workout, that's poison. That's not good for the body, even if you get a boost before. It's not pre-workout. But I think that those little hacks and those individual adjustments are super important. I think we just ignore that and assume that there is a one size fits all and that there is a one approach that is good for everyone. But that rice cake thing is a great example. I might have a rice cake and feel bloated and feel like, oh, I'm going to throw up. That was gross. Someone else might have a great workout and shred fat and feel amazing. So there is no place for me to say that that's bad. But that person that's seeing great results with that quote unquote rice cake would not have known that if they followed my directions to the T. Because if I said, no, I don't want to eat a rice cake, I don't eat anything like that before a workout, and you're like, oh, okay, rice cakes are bad, I shouldn't be doing that. Then you never tried that. And that person might have never tried doing the rice cake and might not have found that that works great for them. Now, I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm not saying that person's right. I'm just saying that there are little nuances with individual situations that could prove effective for you, but you don't know unless you try. So unless it's going to kill you, I would say try it. You want to keep as many consistent variables the same and then test. That's what the elimination diet is, right, fam? That's what the elimination diet is. That's what this lectin-free approach is. That's what all these things that we're doing in order to isolate the foods that are the best for us individually. Not the best for me, the best for you and you and you and you. So if you do an elimination diet and you find that, oh my God, grains are garbage for me, and someone else does it and says, yeah, I don't really like grains too much, I get a little headache, but it's not destroying me. You learn what you can get away with, you learn how they affect your body, and then you can adjust from there. But if you don't know and you don't test and you don't try, a lot of things can be lost. And I don't sit around. I don't sit here on PubMed all the time and just pour through research. It's boring. I've read enough research papers. That's not my approach to fitness. I don't want to sit here and read through all this research. That's great. There could be some episodes where I talk about a specific piece of research, but a lot of research is biased. A lot of research is limited. A lot of research doesn't cover a longitudinal study enough. It's just a little snapshot that says, oh, this is possible. Oh, cool. But the problem is all these supplement companies take one little research study from one little snapshot and then, put an asterisk next to it on their product and say, lose fat faster, blah, blah, blah. Because in one study in South Africa on, 6 to 8 year old, white albino mice, it helped them build muscle mass 0.003% over the course of 6 weeks when taking an extreme dose of like some over-the-counter powder. And it's like, well, this builds muscle mass on fucking like albino South African fucking mice. Yeah, okay, that builds muscle, but like, is that good for you to take? Should you be taking 3 scoops of that? Is it enough? And a lot of like the supplements, not to get off topic, but a lot of those supplements are not the clinical values that are even used in the test. They'll say, okay, citrulline malate, and you put that in all these products. The test that really got that going and put in supplements, they were taking 6 and 8 grams of it. And you go to these supplements and they're putting 1 gram in, and it's not a clinical dose. So like it's not even being effective in your body really. So anyway, my point is, should you be working on an empty stomach? You can. You don't have to. Should you be doing fasted cardio? You can. You don't have to. Doing fasted cardio in the morning is not going to make or break your fat loss. If you want to try it, cool. If you hate it, then don't do it. Don't do it because you're not losing most of your fat from cardio anyway. You're losing it on a macro from resistance training, from caloric deficits, from eating the right foods, from not being inflamed. That is the proper approach to fat loss, not whether or not you do fasted fucking cardio. You do not have to nitpick that type of stuff. And, if you try it and you like it and you swear by it, that's fine. It's easy to feel like fasted cardio works because you wake up, your stomach is flat because you're not eating, you're dehydrated because you haven't really drank that much fluid perhaps. So you look leaner in the morning, you're doing cardio, you leave, and you just feel leaner because you haven't eaten. So there's this illusion that it's making so much more of a difference, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Prove it. Prove it. Don't talk about research. You prove it. How do you prove that? How do you do what you feel is best? And this is where people get super fucking lazy because you're not willing to put the time, the effort in to test it. You just want an answer. Which is better? Well, you have to try. Well, so-and-so told me that it's better to do it. Well, fuck that person and try it yourself. Unless they're telling you to jump off a bridge, try it. Try it. It's not hard to try something. And I understand. I understand what it feels like. Oh man, I might try this and it might not work. Right. That's why it's called trying. You might test a new theory or test something on yourself. How do you think I got results? Because I did the same shit all the time? No. I tried doing isolation exercise before compound exercise. I tried doing extremely high reps. I tried doing arms twice a week, 3 times a week, once a week. Doing with biceps. I did biceps with chest. I did biceps with triceps. I did biceps with back. I did biceps with shoulders. I did shoulders and quads. I did quads and hamstrings separated. I've done so many different combinations to find out what's best for my body that I can maintain. So that's the most important thing. You have to be open to these tests and don't believe the hype with all these things like fasted is better. Anytime someone says X, Y, and Z is better because it's just a fact, you got to be careful. It depends on the topic and the subject, but you have to be very careful because humans are very different. So don't get it twisted and don't assume that that applies always to you. Let's take a couple questions. I'm a big fan of rice cake with almond butter for a pre-workout snack. There you go. Just don't make it peanut butter because peanut butter is really low quality and high in omega-6s and all those types of things. And it's a legume, which can be highly inflammatory and processed. And everyone gets so butthurt when I talk about peanut butter like that, but you have to be very careful. Almond butter is better. First thing in the morning after coffee gets the work in before work and life can get in the way, Tyrone. Yeah, well, that's just a workout first thing in the morning. I'm talking about specifically fasted, but yeah. But that's another thing, when you like to work out. Is it better to work out in the morning or in the evening? Well, you tell me. What's better for you? Casey Reichen, empty stomach either in the morning or at night. There you go. I work out in the morning just to make sure I get one in. I usually do a rice cake with natural peanut butter. I'm good to go. Move that to almond butter. It's better for you. Yoga in the morning. Have my morning yoga is helpful. Also take meds after be taken in the morning, empty stomach. There you go. But you have to find out what works best for you. Let's take some questions. I'll take some questions on Instagram too. Instagram's usually pretty quiet. That's why I'm really referring more towards Facebook. I always see a lot of like, join. I don't think a lot of people watch live on Instagram too much. I work it at night because of my work for college, Brandon Martinez. So eating is not a big deal because I already had my meals earlier. There you go. Here's an example, Mike Stuttle. I can't train on empty stomach. Blood sugars go low. Need juice so it defeats the purpose. All right, there you go. That's it. You got to find what works best for you. A lot of research, this is true. This is from David Garrett on Facebook. A lot of research is bought and paid for to look at sugar. Right. A lot of research is sponsored. So those studies can be very, very biased. David Webb Jr., what's the best way to cut inflammation? Well, Jason Bourne, you need to cut inflammation by cutting out inflammatory foods. So that's a lot of legumes like beans, gluten, wheat germ, agglutinin like breads, all those processed foods, sugars, fruit juices. Those are all crap. Also, get rid of dairy and A1 casein sourced milk. That's just a start. Some people are sensitive to nightshades, and it goes beyond that. Let's see. Cut back on breads. There you go. We're going to call David Webb Jason Bourne from now on, by the way. So every time he shows up, we got to be like, Jason Bourne. And we're all going to die. He's going to pull down the industry. He's going to karate chop Papa Swole. Any comment on plant protein versus other protein powders? You talk about actual like powders. I'm not a fan of any of them. I don't care if it's plant. I don't care if it's whey. If you're going to take a supplement, it's better to make it plant-based and food-based anyway. Get it anyway. But most whey protein powders are also sourced from A1 cows. They're concentrate. They're crap. I'm not a fan of protein powders in general. I don't think we need as humans, especially Western culture. I think we way too much protein, period. I don't care if you're vegan, vegetarian, or carnivore, for example. But if you're vegan and vegetarian, obviously it's harder to get in as much protein, to overeat protein as much as it is someone who eats meat. So I just think the Western culture just eats too much protein. That whole 2 grams per pound of body weight is fucking stupid. It's absurd. So you have to remember how much body weight is actually muscle mass. So if you're eating per body weight, 2 pounds or whatever per pound of body weight, that's ridiculous because you're eating for your lean mass, you're eating for your fat, you're eating for all the water retention. So you're eating far too much protein. So the requirements for protein, especially for survival and for health, are extremely low. And it's much, much lower than most people ever talk about publicly. So it's really like it's well under 100 grams for like what will maintain like health for a human being. You don't need as much protein as you think you do. But I'm not going to be sitting here recommending dietary allowances, how much you should be eating. You could do the research and check that out on your own, because it's beyond my scope of practice to tell you how much protein you should be eating, because I don't know who you are and what your situation is. But we eat way too much protein. Way too much protein. More fats and carbs, like healthy carbs, like root vegetables, like sweet potatoes and yuca, are really good. Man boobs. Man boobs. What's good endurance workout for your man boobs? What is a good endurance workout? Do push-ups. That's a huge question. I don't know what that a good endurance workout? Push-ups. What do you mean by inflammation? We answered that. I refer to bloating as well. Absolutely. So thank you so much, fam. I'll be taking some questions later on. So make sure that you catch the HD video and the podcast. Remember, SoundCloud and iTunes. And there's a lot of stuff coming here. And also in Swolenormous X, those of you that are Swolenormous X members, I'm dropping another video, a great reference video for nutrition that I want you all to watch. It's a classic, but it's a wonderful one. And I'm going to be posting that in the workshop section of Swolenormous X. So keep an eye out for that. Everyone else, I'll be seeing on Instagram stories and right here. If you still have some questions, comment below. I'll try to get to them. And also, you can always hit me up in the DM and the messages if you have any questions. So love you guys. Thanks for watching. And Shauna, just in closing, because I just saw that comment pop up. Shauna Rossler, thanks for admitting something is beyond your scope of practice. Yeah, I think people in the fitness industry, especially, do not say that enough. And I am the first one to admit when I do not know something or I am not comfortable recommending something. And it's very important to, and even in your own personal life, to admit when you don't know something or you're not sure, or you have to be careful. You have to be careful. And that's just not from a legal standpoint. It's also from a helpful standpoint, because if I tell you all right now, hey, eat X amount of protein, that might be good for 3 people. And then the other 55, it's going to be off. So there's really no good recommendation I could say right now. I'm just trying to bring the concept to your attention. But I appreciate the feedback, Shauna. I always try to be 110% honest with my knowledge and with what I am comfortable recommending. So peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose. Thanks for watching episode 617. I'll see y'all tomorrow for 618. Make sure you pinch those nips and give a couple man grunts. Ooh, feels good. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you on Snapchat, IG stories. Going to blow the shit out of that today. I'm feeling pumped. Going to drop some more fire right here on Facebook and IG right now. So peace out, fam.